Hey guys, it's Mr. Mini Painter, and today I'm painting Filius Flitwick, Charms Master and head of a Ravenclaw house. I primed the model in a grey primer. You can use a black one if you want, because most of the colors are going to be pretty dark. And well, he's probably one of the tiniest models in the Night Models Wizarding Duels game. But a lot of fun to paint, and there are some nice details in this model, so let's get to painting it. I started by painting the skin with Bugman's Glow. There's a couple of ways to do this with layering some paint. Bugman's Glow is a preferable base color. You can use Night Quest or Flesh if you want. I tend to go back and forth, and for this one I wanted him to have a little bit of a pale skin. So after applying the base tone, I went straight to Kislev Flesh. And what I do here is I paint in the areas that would be the most brightest. So the knuckles, the top of the fingers, the tip of the nose, the chin, the cheekbones, etc. And then afterwards you thin down your paint and apply the rest of the Kislev Flesh in a couple of layers as a wash. Make sure that you don't get any puddles, because then the brightest color would be in the recesses, and you do not want that. You want that to be the darkest. So go easy, take your time, and do this in maybe 2 or maybe 3 steps. Then the eyes I did with Palette Witch Flesh, which was kind of a hassle because he is wearing glasses. So the space that you can use your brush in is very, very, very tiny. Next, some pupils with Abaddon Black. I think I had to do this maybe 2 or 3 times because it was a pain in the butt to paint this. So next, the hair. Thondia Brown and Abaddon Black in a 50-50 mix to start nice and dark. He has a bit of brown tone in his hair as you look at his pictures, and he has this mustache on his upper lip which gets the same color. Use a brush with a decent tip for this. You get a nice result. Now, as I saw in some reference photos, there is a hint of red in his hair, so I mixed some Doomble Brown into the Thondia Brown and picked out some strands of hair. You can hold your brush sideways like this, and that way the darker areas will stay nice and dark. And I repeated the process with pure Doomble Brown to give it an even more red tone to it. Next, wash it with some Agrax Earthshade to blend all those colors together, and we're done with the hair. Then the most difficult part of this mini was definitely his glasses. I painted it with Lead Belcher to make it stand out a bit more. In the reference photo he has a very, very thin rim around his glasses. So I think this would be the most obvious color, but it was so incredibly tiny. And the most tiny microscopic difference in depth in these glasses can make your brush do weird things. I should try and be as neat as possible, so I had to be really, really careful. Next, his pants was painted with a mixture of Mechanica Standard Grey and Abaddon Black. I wanted to have some different colors for his pants, his coat, to make it look like a nice suit. And this is a nice base color which we're going to be darkening down later on. And to do so I'm using Black Templar. Now you can use Nuln Oil, but a Nuln Oil is... I prefer Black Templar because it's more of a layer over this color. And that way you get a black, but it's not like an Abaddon Black. You get some differences between in the depth of the pants, the creases, etc. And it looks quite nice, I think. Next, with Palette Witch Flesh, I painted his shirt. There is a collar around his neck, a very tiny part. Take that too. And some tiny sleeves are showing. Then with rock art flash, I painted the vest. And finally, the base color for the coat is Abaddon Black. I wanted that to be as dark as possible. And of course, not to forget his tiny bow tie. Then with Grey Seer, I painted stripes on his pants, which was kind of a hassle because there's a lot of wrinkles in his trousers, and well, that makes it difficult to paint a straight line. Make sure to thin down your paint just enough to make it very fluid, and you should be fine. Then wash everything with some non-oil to blend it together and to darken down that white and get some extra shades in there. And I also used non-oil in a thinned down version on his vest and shirt. Then for some highlights on the coat, mix some Mechanicus Standard Grey with Abaddon Black and create some lighter areas on the top of his arm, his shoulders, and you can do some edge highlighting if you want. Then some palette witch flesh to make some white buttons on his vest. It looks very fancy and completes his suit. Then with Rhinox hide, we're going to paint his wand. And to make that wand just a little bit more interesting, because it's not completely straight, we're using Doomble Brown as a highlight color to add some details to it. There are some nooks on it, or you can make circles around it or whatever you want. I made it kind of a twirly look, which I thought was quite nice. And then finally his shoes, Rhinox hide and Abaddon Black as a base color. He has this beautiful two-color classy shoes, like dancing shoes or ballroom shoes or whatever. And we're going to be giving those a second color using Carrick Stone. And these Carrick Stone, you paint the back part and the nose of the shoes. Leave the soles of the shoes nice and dark, so it really looks like a separate set of leather used in this footwear. It's these tiny details that made me really enjoy painting these minis. For the base, I'm using Steel Legion Drab, as we're going for a castle, a Hogwarts looking floor, which is a dark marble floor. I'm washing it with some Agric Earthshade. You can go quite heavy on this, as we're going to be dry brushing it later on. Really get those cracks looking nice and dark. Let that dry, and then dry brush some Carrick Stone over it. Give your base a rim of your favorite color, and you're done. And that's it for Filius Flitwick, one of the magical masters of the Wizarding Duels game by Ninth Models. This was the last of the magical masters I painted for this miniature range, and you can check out the other videos on my channel if you are interested. If you like this kind of videos, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'd love to hear from you, so please leave a comment. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos. Bye bye!